We're live from Miller Park here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Brewers enter this game with a 102-32 record against the Cincinnati Reds. Brewers up 2-0 in the series as it's Zach Davies on the mound for the Crew against Homer Bailey for the Cincinnati Reds. We're just about underway here from Miller Park Stadium. Zach Davies enters today's start with a 15-4 record, making his 27th appearance of the season with a 3.99 ERA, 160 innings logged so far, with 134 strikeouts and just 21 walks, so he's been quite efficient so far this season, as has the entire Milwaukee Brewers staff, as Dwayne Jones stands in the leadoff for Cincinnati. Beautiful afternoon here at Miller Park, and the first pitch from Zach Davies catches the outside corner for a strike, and we're underway. The Brewers enter today with 102 wins and 32 losses, on pace to break the Major League record for wins in a season, as Davies' second pitch of the afternoon catches a corner as well, and it's 0-2. On Dwayne Jones, the Reds' starting shortstop, young prospect, came up last year, the 2016 season, as he strikes out on 3 pitches. He gone. 1 up, 1 down for Davies here to start the afternoon. As we take a look at the starting lineup for Cincinnati, a lot of speed at the top of the lineup with Jones and Billy Hamilton. They've taken turns flip-flopping in the leadoff spot here this season. They enter with a 65-70 record as they're well out of the race for the division. Here's the aforementioned Billy Hamilton standing in, hitting just .241. And the first pitch from Davies to him catches the inside corner and a fastball. It's been nothing but fastballs, and it's 0-1. 82 degrees here at this dump. Sign from Bandy in the 0-1 pitch. Hamilton, I think he was a little early in that swing. He hit it foul into the right field seats. Quickly 0-2. Davies working fast to the sign, and Hamilton fouls it back. A lot of Jagaloons here in attendance to catch this ball game and to catch this series finale before the Reds are shipped out of town. Ball and 2 strikes now again on Billy Hamilton. The sign from Bandy is a fastball, and Davies accepts and fires, and it's fouled off. We'll do it again. 1-2 again. And this fucker just won't go down. He keeps fouling pitches off. And it's 1-2. Still. Hamilton better watch it. If he keeps fouling pitches off, he's going to find a fastball on his back. That one just misses the outside corner a little high, and it's 2-2. 10 pitches through a third of an inning for Davies. And the 2-2 is lifted in the air. Braun ranging back a couple of steps. Camps under it and squeezes the glove for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Cincinnati here in the first. And Joey Votto, the big power threat, stands in with 37 home runs on the campaign and 99 runs driven in. He's also leading the team in batting average, hitting .320. And the first pitch is bounced on the ground to Carter, who steps on the bag himself, and the inning is over. A relatively painless first inning for Zach Davies. Through 1/2, no score. We're back at Miller Park Stadium. Bottom of the first is just about underway as we take a look at the pitching line for Homer Bailey, entering his 9th season with the Reds organization. He's made 27 starts this year with an 8-6 record, a lot of no decisions, and an ERA sub-3. And he's going to have a tough task today facing this high-powered Brewers offense as Jonathan Villar stands in to lead things off. 2 for 10 in the series with 4 strikeouts. And the first pitch he golfs at a curveball and misses, and it's 0-1. Bailey, a quick worker out there. Sets and fires, and it's a fastball inside, and it's back even at 1-1. Working quickly, the 1-1 pitch is a changeup. And VR whiffs at it again, and it's 1-2. Lately, VR has been struggling at the plate. His batting average is just over 300 at this point. And the last 2 weeks have been tough on him as he grounds one up the middle, past Jones for a base hit. The Brewers have their leadoff runner on, and they have a lot of speed on the Bates pass to start this game. Well, otherwise he wouldn't be the fucking leadoff hitter. As Dusty Lutz stands in now, nearing the top of the National League in batting average and OPP, which stands at 388 coming into this at-bat. First pitch is lifted in the air. Hamilton barely has to move. Squeezes the glove for out number 1. It's kind of odd seeing Dwayne Jones at shortstop, considering he's a lefty. He throws lefty, and he's a switch hitter, but it takes him a while to adjust his throwing motion. Here's the starting lineup for the Crew. As you can see, a lot of 300s in the starting 9, as this team is on pace to be the best offensive team in Major League history. And here stands a former roid bag, Ryan Braun, with a runner at first and 1 down. Double play depth for the Reds, and the first pitch is a pitch out. Bailey might have been a little distracted with VR, who was dancing around at first. As we take a look at the umpiring crew, which I'm sure no one gives a shit about, as they're all fake anyways. Bailey has had some good seasons in Cincinnati, but he's been fairly inconsistent, as there's 2 consecutive pitch-outs to start the at-bat. It puts Braun in a good fastball count up 2-0 without having to take the bat off his moorings. Here's the sign and the 2-0 pitch, and you knew VR was off. Easily steals second base, and there's a runner in scoring position early. I don't necessarily agree with Homer Bailey starting that at-bat out with 2 consecutive pitch-outs. But VR has been effective stealing in his time in Milwaukee, where he's really developed as a good player. Here's the 2-1 to Braun, and he taps one foul down the third base line. And there's some dumbass there to pick it up, and it's 2-2. No more double play depth for the Reds. And the 2-2 again is tapped foul. Down the left field line, just barely. No shift for the Reds defense. Braun, a good pull hitter. Here's the 2-2, and this one's driven in the air deep to center field. Hamilton with good range, though, snags it about a step shy of the warning track. VR tags to third, where he'll stand with 2 out for Chris Carter, who stands in tied with Mark McGwire for second all-time in home runs in a single season. And he's 3 short of Barry Bonds, where he matched that mark in the middle of a steroid era back in 2001. Speaking of 2001, it's the year that this lovely establishment opened. Bailey from the stretch for the runner at third. That's VR. And the first pitch is fouled away. Carter's been struggling as of late. You wouldn't be able to tell looking at his batting average, which is in the 350s at this point. And the 0-1 pitch is taken way high, 1-1. Fastball is at the eye level. But he has been struggling. He has just 2 home runs in his last 10 games, which is well off his season pace. And the 1-1 pitch is a fastball tapped into ground just in front of home plate. Bailey makes the pick and fire, and the side is retired. So the Brewers get a runner to third but can't bring him in, and after 1 from Miller Park Stadium, no score. Devin Mesoraco will lead off the top of the second inning for Cincinnati against Zach Davies, 24-year-old right-hander, and the first pitch is fouled down the left field line. Mesoraco a little impatient on that fastball. Similar pitch. Grounds it to short. VR picks and fires, and there's one out to start the second. When the Brewers started the 17th season, they had Orlando Arcia starting at short and VR at second, but as the season progressed, Craig Counsell decided to move VR to short since he has better range. As Jay Bruce stands in and fouls the first pitch off, it's a two-seamer, and it's 0-1. Davies working quickly as this one's hung over the middle of the plate. Bruce sends it out of here. Well, if anyone was yapping in the crowd, that shuts them up as the Reds get the opening salvo here in the second inning on a solo shot by the asshole Jay Bruce. Doesn't matter at this point, considering the Brewers have a 16-game lead in the division, so they can score 30 runs in this game and it won't mean jack shit. Davies knew it. He hung that pitch. It was a two-seamer that tailed right into his bat. Here's Brandon Phillips, the longtime Red. And the first pitch to him is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. It's been a down season for Phillips, the 34-year-old veteran second baseman. Ooh, Davies gets a generous call on the fastball on the outside there, 0-2. Phillips shows his displeasure with the call. Probably wants to hit the umpire with the bat. 0-2 pitch is driven foul. It's an off-speed pitch, looked like a changeup. Remains 0-2. Bandy with the sign, the 0-2 pitch to Phillips, and he gone. Caught looking at a four-seam fastball, and there is your second out. Jesse Winkler stands in. Reds prospect getting playing time here this season. Looks at a strike. 0-1 the count to the young Winkler. This one is driven. This is going to split the outfielders in between center and right for a base hit. Regland picks it up off the wall, and Winkler is in the second with a sliding double. Boy, he turned that fastball around. Davies hung it. He's had some issues in his previous few starts, hanging pitches. Hung the fastball to Bruce, which was driven out of here, and he hung that pitch to Winkler, and he drove it in between the gap. Suarez stands in now and fouls off a fastball. 23 pitches through Davies for through 1 2/3 rather. This fucker is working so fast he can barely keep up. The 1-1 pitch is fouled off. Look out down there. 1-2. A runner at second and 2 down. The 1-2 pitch to Suarez is driven in the air to right, over the head of the leaping Lutz and off the wall. Into scores Winkler, into second standing is Suarez, and Cincinnati now opens the lead up 2-0. I don't know what the fuck Zach Davies' problem is this inning, but he is either working too fast or he is just not locating his pitches effectively. Luckily, the pitcher, Homer Bailey, who is not much of an offensive threat at all, stands in. A little aggressive on the first pitch as he sends it in the air to right. Lutz camps under it and squeezes the glove, and the inning is over. But the Reds get 2 runs. And after the end of an inning and a half for Miller Park Stadium, Cincinnati 2, Milwaukee 0. Craig Regland stands in to lead off the bottom of the second for the Brew Crew. They're down 2-0 against Homer Bailey, who threw 14 pitches in that first inning. You saw the blistering numbers for Regland, hitting .360 coming into this at-bat with 44 long balls and 120 runs batted in. Here's the 1-0 pitch inside again. 2 straight inside pitches from Bailey. And it's a good hitter's count, 2-0. Good pitch to look for the fastball. In his rookie season, he hit 39 home runs, and that led all Major League rookies. This Brewer team doesn't draw many walks, but Regland is ahead in the count 3-0. Is he sitting dead red? I would like to think he's going to take this next pitch. And it's a fastball, and it's a little low. And it's 3-1. Still plenty of pitches to work with here in this at-bat. If you're Bailey, you don't want to groove one down the middle. And he did. And it's off of Phillips' glove. He dove for it. And that's going to go as an infield single. So the Brewers have a runner to start the second inning in Regland. And standing in the former Cub Chris Bryant. His batting average is in the stratosphere, up in the 370s. Acquired last season at the trade deadline from the Chicago Cubs in a deal which sent catcher Jonathan Lucroy and third base prospect Jose Miguel Fernandez to Chicago. Down in the count 0-1 as you take a look at that exciting pitch again from Bailey. A runner at first and nobody out. Double play defense for Cincinnati as Bailey throws over. Regland doesn't have a whole lot of speed out there at first, but just keeping him honest out there. 0-1 pitch. Oh man, he's going to have to get an or if he wants to hit that thing, and it's 0-2. That was a good tailing slider from Bailey. 0-2 on the power-hitting young third baseman Chris Bryant. And as that pitch was in a similar spot, that slider just a couple more inches outside of the zone than the previous pitch, but Bryant held. It's 1-2. The Brewers don't find themselves down in many ball games, especially this campaign, as the 1-2 pitch rather is hit foul down the third base line. It almost stayed fair. That was a changeup. Bailey has a tendency to labor a lot. If he gets behind in counts early, I suppose as a lot of pitchers do. 2-2 now. Count back to even. From the stretch, here's the 2-2, and tried to get Bryant to chase at the knuckle curve, but nothing doing on that one, and he works the count full with Orlando Arcia on deck. Arcia. Still a controversy on how to correctly pronounce his name. 3-2 pitch is lifted in the air. This one's deep to center field. Hamilton at the wall makes the catch, and Regland's going to have to tag back to first. He could be doubled up here. The throw back from Jones, and they got him. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He probably thought that ball was out, but it wasn't. It died just short of the wall. And all of a sudden, the Brewers have nobody on base with 2 outs. And Arcia stands in. A sad, sad man. Back to normal defense for the Reds. And the first pitch is popped up. A shallow fly ball about a step onto the outfield grass. The third baseman soars, camps under it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. So a mistake made on the base pass cost the Brewers a possible chance at scoring a run. It's still 2-0 Reds after 2. Well, Dwayne Jones stands in again in his second plate appearance of the ball game. Leads off the third inning against Zach Davies as he takes a strike. 0-1. Jones 0 for 1 in the ball game as he lines one under the glove of Bryant at third base into left field for a leadoff single. And he's going to stretch this into a double. That's 99 speed for you. And all of a sudden the Reds have a runner at second base with nobody out. I suppose when you're a team that's 70 games above 500 at this point in the season, you have a tendency to get somewhat lax. And the Brewers have been somewhat lax to start this game as Billy Hamilton starts his at-bat, looking at a strike, 0-1. From the stretch, Davies taking a look at the runner Jones with 99 speed and 99 stealing ability. Pitch is grounded to second. That's Arcia. Picks and fires for the first out. Jones moves up to third. So Joey Votto gets his second turn at the plate in this game with another great RBI opportunity. He grounded out in the first. Cincinnati, they have a good shot of extending their lead to at least 3-0. And the Reds, they're a rebuilding ball club. The Brewers were a few years ago, as Votto fouls it off down the left field line, and it's 0-2 quickly. Brewers coming off the World Series win, so I don't consider them a rebuilding team anymore, as this one's lofted out to Braun, going to test his arm strength, but there's no way he's going to get the Speedy Jones, and Cincinnati adds another run. 3-0 here in the third. So Zach Davies came into this start with an ERA just a tick under 4, and he's given up 3 runs here through 2 2/3. That's going to push his ERA over 4 for the first time this season. Despite 15 wins on the board, as he fires a strike to Devin Mesoraco, and it's 0-1. Works quickly though, the 24-year-old. And it's fouled off 0-2. He's gotten acclimated to Jet Bandy fairly well, as him calling games behind home plate. Started the season with Wilson Contreras, who came over in the Lucroy Bryant deal last season. 0-2 pitch is fouled off. But Contreras ended up getting dealt to the Texas Rangers, and the Brewers made a couple moves to add some depth at their catching position, acquiring Jet Bandy, Andrew Susac, Will McBride, in correspondence to that move, went from catching to first base to back up Chris Carter. 0-2 pitch again is drilled. That's up the middle for a base hit. A 2-out single for Mesoraco keeps the inning alive, and you can tell Davies is a little flustered out there. Jay Bruce did damage in the second inning with a solo home run. Got the Reds into the score column for the first time in the game. And he has a chance to do more damage with a runner at first. As he drills this one, it's a first pitch swinging. That's going to bounce off the wall and left. Braun fields it. They're going to send Mesoraco around third. They're going to test VR's arm, and the throw is late. Bounces off the glove of Bandy, and Cincinnati extends their lead. It's 4-0. What the fuck? Well, Bruce just went with that pitch. A little bit late swinging, but he had enough power to hit it over the left fielder, Braun. Did a good job fielding it off the wall, but just could not get the runner out at home plate as Brandon Phillips stands in again. And Davies grooves a fastball over the middle. That might have been a frustration pitch, and it's 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Another fastball. Catches the bottom half of the strike zone, and it's 0-2. Bruce, the runner at second. 44 pitches for Davies through 2 2/3. 0-2 pitch. Yeah, it was in a good spot. That changeup broke below the plane, but Phillips kept it alive, fouled it off, and we'll do it again. That fastball just misses the inside corner. Might have been pinched just a little bit on that one. And usually when things aren't going your way, you normally don't get the calls either. But for the most part, can't complain about how the Brewers' starting rotation has fared this season, as Phillips strikes out looking to end the inning. But the Reds extend their lead. 2.5 complete. 4-0. Red Stockings. We're back at Miller Park Stadium Field LOP. Jet Bandy leads off the bottom half of the third for the Crew against Homer Bailey. Normally at this point in the game, the Brewers would have about 5 runs on the board. Bandy swings at the first pitch, and Jones, who had plenty of time, throws him out. That was by about 5 steps. As we take a look at the National League Central Division standings entering today's game, as you see, the Brewers have the division well in their grasp, 17 games ahead of the second-place Cubs. And the Reds, they find themselves 37 and a half games out. It's going to take them until 2019 to catch up at this pace. Zach Davies stands in for his first plate appearance. And Homer Bailey floats a changeup over the middle of the plate. Davies not much of a hitter, although it hasn't fared too bad. You know, he's got 11 hits. As that pitch is popped into the air into shallow right field as Phillips comes down with the ball, and there are 2 down. A rather painless inning so far for Homer Bailey. Lineup turns over. VR stands in again. It was 1 for 1. I got a single in the first and takes a fastball high. Might have been trying to get VR to chase that one. 1-0. 2-0 now. Go high and then go low. Mixing the eye level up. Keeping the hitter off balance. As this one's sent in the air to right. Not going to carry though, as Bruce camps under it, makes the catch. He was ranging back towards the warning track and the inning is over. A painless inning for Bailey. 3 complete. It is 4-0 Cincinnati.
Leading off with the Reds, left fielder, number 76.
Jesse Winkler stands in again. He reached base in his previous plate appearance. Zach Davies enters his 4th inning of work as he starts off the at-bat with a strike. 0-1. Working quickly as per usual, fouled off 0-2 down the left field line. Winkler finds himself behind in the count. Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one's popped in the air. This one is not, actually it's going to stay in play. Bryant camps under it, just in front of the Reds dugout for the first out.
Third baseman, number 7, Eugenio.
Davies, his pitch count isn't too bad at 51 through 3 1/3. He's been working a little more than usual, but nothing he can't handle. This one's hit in the air to Braun, and Eugenio Suarez is quickly out number 2. Davies needs a few more at-bats like that if he wants to stay in this game as long as possible. Homer Bailey, he's 0 for 1. Works quickly and lays a strike into the Reds pitcher, and it's 0-1. Nice day here at Miller Park Stadium. As Bailey got a hold of that one, and luckily it's going to tail foul down the left field line. Doesn't normally get a hold of a lot of pitches, but he did there, as the 0-2 pitch again is fouled off. We'll do it again. Bandy with the sign, and the 0-2 pitch to Bailey is a curveball over the middle of the plate, hit in the air to right. Lutz camps under it, and that's the inning. 1-2-3 for Davies. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Cincinnati's still up 4-0. Dusty Lutz is 0 for 1. He lined out back in the first inning.
Right fielder,
Beast hitting .356 coming into this at-bat with 22 home runs. And he's not normally a power guy, as he sends one to right field, and that's a leadoff single. So the Brewers have a runner on, with nobody out, and that extends his hitting streak to a modest 11 games. He just went with the pitch. That was a fastball over the outside part of the plate. Bailey thought he could groove one to the Beast, and Lutz said nope, as he took it into right field. He stands at first. Nobody out. Ryan Braun stands in. Bailey from the stretch, and he fires a fastball outside 1-0. Roof is open here at Miller Park. Luckily, it still opens and closes as Braun sends one in the air. This one's deep. It's hanging up there, and the wind is blowing in, and that kept the ball in the ballpark as he ends up flying out to the left fielder for a loud out number 1. Let's see if Chris Carter can do something. He has 70 home runs, aforementioned, tied with Big Mac Mark McGwire, and looking to become the single-season home run holder. And the first pitch is hit down the line and down the third base line, and it's foul 0-1. With a runner at first and 1 down. Bailey from the stretch. And that fastball got Carter to back up off the plate. I think Bailey knows he's been struggling a little bit. Maybe trying to get into the head of him. But it's a long and grueling season, and as September baseball comes around, it's not surprising to see a lot of these players go through a cold stretch. Carter with a good eye there, 2-1. Ahead in the count now, good hitters count. In a good situation to hit and run. They don't do it on that pitch. The 2-1 is fouled back. If Carter was in his pristine form, he would have deposited that pitch into the left field bleachers. Not the case. Here's the 2-2. And he swings and misses on a slider. That was right over the middle of the plate, and Carter just whiffed. A flat-out whiff. 2 down. And Regland stands in 1-for-1. He had a base hit back in the second. Brewers with 3 hits on the afternoon. 41 pitches for Bailey through 3 2/3. As the first pitch is a slider that misses out the corner, and it's 1-0. Chris Bryant would be next. And the 1-0 pitch is lined into right field past the second baseman. And that's his second hit of the ball game. So there's going to be a runner in scoring position at second in Lutz, and Regland at first for Chris Bryant, looking to cut into this Cincinnati 4-0 lead. And Bailey, he's been working quick out there. Sign from Mesoraco, the stretch, and that one is off the outside corner. Missed by about 4 inches. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Lined in the air to right. And Bruce ranges over to make the catch, and the Brewers once again are turned away. They can't score, and our score remains 4-0 after 4. Dwayne Jones is standing in for the 3rd time. 1 for 2. He doubled in his last plate appearance. And he ended up coming around to score. Zach Davies begins his 5th inning of work. Pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1. And Jones sends one in the air. It's on a line. That was a frozen rope to Braun. Battling the sun. Makes the catch, and there's 1 quick out. Here's the second part of that speed duo at the top of the Reds lineup, and Billy Hamilton, who's 0 for 2. Take a look at that ball-to-strike ratio for Davies. Over 90%. He's thrown just 4 balls all game. Maybe catching the strike zone a little too much. Count is even on Billy Hamilton. Winds and delivers on 1-1 and fights off that tailing fastball, and it's 1-2. It's been a brisk pace to this ball game. That's something that these players appreciate this late in the season, as Hamilton gets jammed on that pitch, and it's over the head of Garcia, and it ends up falling for what looks like it's going to be an error. Craig Counsell not looking too happy. I don't know if he lost it in the sun or not, but he's wearing sunglasses, and it looks to me like he just flat out missed that ball. And they're going to score that in E4. That's an easy one. So that gives the Cincinnati Reds speed on the base paths in Hamilton. And the number 3 hitter Votto stands in. The 33-year-old veteran in his 11th season with the Reds looks at a strike. Extra step for Hamilton, he might be off. As Votto fouls it off and it's 0-2. You know Davies is paying attention to the runner, but you don't want to groove a pitch to Votto and have him send one over the wall. Good decision by Davies on that pitch. Try to get him to chase. It's 1-2, and here it is. And that one catches the outside corner, and Votto disapproves. He gone. That's a strikeout, and there are 2 down. And Votto is still bitching at the home plate umpire after that call. It looked like a strike to me. Grab some bench. Devin Mesoraco stands in. He is not as much of an offensive threat at the plate as Joey Votto is. That one's fouled off, 0-1. This one's hit in the air. He just missed it again. The wind's blowing in here at Miller Park. Luckily the roof's open as this one's lofted to Braun. Nothing doing, and the inning is over. So the Reds get a base runner on the air from Orlando Arcia. And after 4.5, it's still 4-0 Cincinnati. Bottom of the order. Set to lead off for the Brew Crew here in the bottom of the 5th. It's Orlando Arcia standing in against Homer Bailey as he sends the first pitch on the ground to short. That's Jones who fields, and that's a 1-pitch out. Take a look at the National League ERA leaders coming to this ball game, and Homer Bailey, he's actually had a good season. His record doesn't necessarily reflect that at just 8-6, but you can see him and Yu Ju are both towards the top of the National League in earned run average. So despite the Reds' 65-70 record on the season, their pitching staff has fared well considering they play at Great American Ballpark, which is a big hitter's park, as Bandy on the second pitch of the inning sends one in the air to right. Bruce coming in a few steps and has no problem with that one. No action in the Brewers bullpen, so that means Davies is going to come out for at least one more inning. Getting his at-bat out of the way here in the 5th. And he's going to have to take a pitch, and he does. It's a strike that catches the inside corner. You don't want a 3-pitch inning. Want to try to make Bailey sweat just a little bit out there. And it's 0-1. Here's the pitch. On the ground, and this is through the hole between short and third, and Zach Davies has himself a base hit. That was just out of the reach of Dwayne Jones, the shortstop. And speaking of shortstops, Jonathan Villar stands in as the lineup turns over for the 3rd time. Brewers having a hard time getting something going in this game. It is off their pace. The first pitch bounced on the ground first base side, and that is just pure speed right there as VR beats it out. Bailey had to come off the mound to his left and make a difficult throw, which his throw was on line perfectly, but VR with good speed just beat it out. So that means there's going to be runners at first and second. Davies the man in scoring position. And all of a sudden the Brewers have something cooking here with 2 outs. That's ruled a base hit. Milwaukee tying Cincinnati now with 6 hits in the game as Lutz stands in and takes a fastball inside, 1-0. Crowd today looking like it's about 34,000. As this one's sent in the air to center, and Hamilton comes in, and that potential threat is for naught. 5 complete from Miller Park. That shuts the crowd up as we go to the 6th. Jay Bruce, he's had himself a heck of a ball game so far. He's 2 for 2, and one of those hits includes a home run. It was a solo shot back in his first at-bat. Davies is out again for his 6th inning of work, and Bruce not taking any time swinging at pitches. He's being aggressive today, and it's worked so far. And he swung at the first 2 pitches in this at-bat and hit him foul on the left field line. Might be just a little anxious. It is 0-2 on Jay Bruce. As Davies works him inside. Still locating that pitch pretty well. Davies hasn't pitched all that poorly, but compared to his standard this year, it's not a great performance. This one's lifted in the air to left. The Brewers playing a shift, and that's going to get out of play. Foul. If Braun was playing in his normal spot in left, he might have had a chance to get that. But no chance playing that big shift on the lefty. And they play that perfectly as it's hit on the ground to second. Arcia was playing deep in the hole. He was actually playing about 5 steps into right as he makes the play. It was a perfect throw. There's 1 down. Leadoff hitter is retired. Brandon Phillips is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Davies working aggressively to him, knowing he's been struggling at the plate. Reds trying to take 1 game in this series. As this one's in the air to right. Lutz coming in a few steps. Makes the catch, and 2 up, 2 down. I think it was a good decision keeping Davies out for that extra inning. There was no one warming up in the Brewers bullpen, which in the next half inning you might start seeing some action down there. Jesse Winkler takes one foul down the left field line. Ball boy has to get out of the fucking way there. It is 0-1. Here's the pitch. This one's hit on the ground past the second baseman, Orlando Arcia, and that's a 2-out single. So Winkler gets aboard. Eugenio Suarez, who hit a double and ended up coming around to score in his last plate appearance, comes in now with a runner at first and 2 down. And the 78th pitch of Zach Davies' workday is a strike. Working from the stretch. He's been doing it a lot more today than normal as the wind saved that one from getting out of here. It's hitting the air to center. Regland camps under it comfortably, squeezes the glove, and ends the inning. So the Reds get a base hit, but nothing to show for. Through 5.5, it is still 4-0 Cincinnati. Ryan Braun is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to begin his afternoon. The finale of this 3-game series here at Miller Park. Homer Bailey's been pitching nicely. Braun checks his swing, but that was a strike anyways, and it's 0-1. Action in the Brewers bullpen as the right-hander Jared Hughes and the right-hander Corey Knebel are throwing down there. 0-1 pitch to Braun, and it's bounced on the ground to third. Played perfectly by Suarez. Picks and fires, and that's the first out. Not much to cheer for so far today for the home crowd. Maybe Chris Carter will give him something to cheer for. If it hits a home run, not saying he has to, but if he does, he will surpass Mark McGwire for second on the all-time single-season home run list. Looks at a fastball. That one was a very hittable pitch. If he wasn't struggling at the plate, which he has been. A 1 pitch is not even close. That changeup ended up in the other batter's box. If he was a lefty, that would have hit him. 1-1 pitch. Ooh, he turned on that one just a little early. Probably wasn't expecting the changeup there, but he got it. Still made solid contact. 1-2. Quickly working is Bailey. And quickly looking at a ball, the second one in the at-bat, is Carter. Here's the 2-2. As Carter sends one in the air, this one's got a shot. Back goes Hamilton, ranging way over to his right. Comes down with it, and that is out number 2. Spike. There's Craig Regland standing in. It is 4-0 Cincinnati here in the 6th inning. Davies is most likely done. 1-0 pitch is lifted in the air. It's not going to carry again. Brewers have just been hitting a little too far into the baseball today. Hamilton is there, makes the catch, and that's the inning. 6 complete. Bailey leads it off. It's 4-0 Cincinnati. Well, they're playing in their 17th season here at Miller Park. This place opened back in 2001. There were a bevy of ballparks opened in that era, a lot of domed ballparks. Homer Bailey leads off the 7th, and Davies is actually out there for the heck of it. I don't think those pitchers were warm down there, and he deposits a single into left. You got to figure that Council's going to pull him after giving up the leadoff single to Homer Bailey. Davies, 80 pitches through 6, and there's the official call to the bullpen as Jared Hughes comes in and inherits a runner at first. That's Bailey. With the lineup turning over for the 4th time, it's Dwayne Jones standing in, and the first pitch is hit foul. As I was saying before, Miller Park was opened around the same time as a lot of other ballparks at roofs. Look at Safeco Field, it was opened in '99, along with Minute Maid Park in Houston, formerly known as Enron Field, as Dwayne Jones goes down looking. That was a good fastball from Jared Hughes. Caught Dwayne Jones window shopping on that one. Runner at first is Bailey. Billy Hamilton stands in, and the first pitch was hit in the air to right. Lutz coming in. Looks like he might have lost it there for a second. That transition from the ball moving into the sun and into the shade, or from the sun into the shade, can be tough for a fielder out there. Did a good job, though, reeling it in. There's 2 down in the 7th. Just 4 pitches so far for Jared Hughes. And he's recorded the 2 outs in this inning. Joey Votto stands in for the 4th time, looks at a strike. It is 0-1 on the red slugging first baseman. Takes a look at its slider, and that one's in there 0-2. Crowd on their feet? Not exactly, but they want him to get out of the inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Votto almost sent that one out of here. It's into left field, and we'll do it again. Bandy does a good job calling the game back behind the plate. This one's hit in the air to left. Braun raging over to his right. He's going to have plenty of room to make the catch and to end the inning. It is 7th inning stretch time here at Miller Park Stadium. Through 6.5, our score hasn't changed. It's still 4-0 Reds. Brew Crew trying to get something going here. It's Chris Bryant. He's 0 for 2. Leading off against Homer Bailey. And that one is just hit in the air to right. The Brewers just can't get a break. Coming in is Bruce. 1 pitch, 1 out. Bailey has been very efficient so far in this game, but the Brewers have been swinging at a lot of first pitches and at bats. That's been helping his cause. But just in case Blaine Boyer, the former Brewer, is warming up in the Reds bullpen, the 63rd pitch of the afternoon is thrown to Orlando Arcia to start his 3rd at bat. He is 0 for 2 as well. 1-0 pitch and another pop-up. Boy, Bailey's just been getting that spot every single at bat, it seems like. In the air to right, Bruce. He's been busy out there. 2 up, 2 down. A frustrating offensive performance for Milwaukee as Jet Bandy stands in to try to get something going with 2 outs here for Milwaukee. They do have 6 hits, which is the same amount as the Reds have. Bandy actually takes a pitch. It's a strike though, 0-1. 0-1 pitch to Jet and another one in the air to right. Brewers just can't get ahead of that fastball as Jay Bruce records all 3 outs in the inning. A quick one. 1-2-3 to the 8th frame. 4-0 Reds. It is Devin Mesoraco leading off the top half of the 8th inning for Cincinnati. It's Mesoraco, Bruce, and Phillips as Corey Knebel makes his 47th appearance of the year. He's been solid out of the bullpen, recording 56 in the 3rd innings with a 2.4 run average, 44 strikeouts, and he's kept opposing hitters off balance for the most part. 8th inning underway as Mesoraco sends one foul. 0-1. From the windup, the pitch from Knebel. On the ground is short. That's VR. Has plenty of time. Mesoraco doesn't have much speed. And that's quickly out number 1. Jay Bruce has had a nice ball game so far. Here's the replay of his home run that he hit in his first at-bat. It was a no-doubter deposited into the right field bleachers. Looking to have that same success here in this at-bat as Knebel works the fastball past him, and it's 0-1. From the windup, the 0-1 pitch, working quick again. That one catches the inside part of the plate and a little high, and it's 0-2. Sign from Bandy on 0-2 to Bruce. And the pitch is lifted in the air. Braun having to go back. It's into left field, and he camps under it. About 2 steps shy of the warning track. 2 up, 2 down here in the Reds' 8th. And Brandon Phillips is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He flew out in his previous at-bat back in the 6th. And on the first pitch, sends one in the air. Pops it to the right of Bandy, who camps under it and makes the catch, and Knebel has a scoreless and painless top of the 8th. To the bottom half we go. 4-0 Cincinnati. Eric Young Jr. is going to grab a bat and pinch hit for the pitcher's spot, which was Knebel. Jerry Blevins, the 33-year-old left-hander, is beginning to throw in the Brewers' bullpen. They look to get something going, and the first pitch is lined to Votto, and EYJ is quickly retired. Just 67 pitches through 7 1/3 for Homer Bailey. Jonathan VR stands in for the 4th time. He's 2 for 3. He's collected 2 of the 6 hits for the Brewers offense today. And this one's hit in the air. This one's shallow, and diving is Hamilton. He misses it. VR on his way to 3rd, and Jones throws, he would have had him in time, but bounced the throw to Suarez, and VR ends up reaching at 3rd. That might be a double and an error. Let's see how they score it. That ball wasn't hit very well. Hamilton was coming in, thought he had a chance to catch that on a fly, but he took a dive for it and ended up mistiming it. It fell, and VR with his speed ended up at 3rd. They're going to give that a triple. So it's VR's 2nd triple of the season. Believe it or not, that's it. Dusty Lutz stands in for the 4th time, and he sends one in the air into right field. On the first pitch, Bruce is there. Tagging and scoring is VR, and the Brewers are finally on the board. Well, it took them 7 2/3 innings, but they finally get on board. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Lutz. Ryan Braun trying to get on base to keep this mini rally alive, if you want to call it that. Brewers haven't been very patient today. Been swinging at a lot of first pitches. Braun laid off that fastball easily. That was high, near eye level. Second pitch of the at-bat is a slider over 1-1. Official attendance today, 33,850. Braun sends it foul. Scattered fans out in the bleachers. Lower bowl is full for the most part. Braun sends one in the air. This one's deep to center field. Back goes Hamilton. That one's caught at the wall, and the inning is over. Oh, well, Braun thought he had it, but if that wind wasn't blowing in, it would have been out. We're through 8. The Brewers get on the board. It's 4-1. Jerry Blevins comes out to try to get the Reds in the 9th inning here, down 3 runs. It's his 37th appearance this season for the 33-year-old lefty out of the bullpen. And his first challenge is Jesse Winkler, who's also a lefty and who is also 2 for 3. First pitch from Blevins is over for a strike, and it's 0-1. Winkler sends that one in the air. Bryant and Braun both charging at it, and it's Bryant who makes the catch, ranging out into left field. That was dangerous there. That should have been Braun's ball. But regardless, the out is recorded. 1 down in the 9th. Anytime the third baseman has to come out that far, you would think the outfielder would call him off, and that was Braun's ball all the way. Mesoraco stands in and takes a strike, actually that's Suarez, apologize. On the ground, the third, that's Bryant, picks and fires, 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th. So the veteran Blevins has been working quickly out of the pen. Jose Peraza grabs a bat off the bench and will pinch hit for the pitcher slot. Reds closer warming up in the bullpen. And the first pitch is sent down the right field line into the seats. Look out down there. Might have hit Stank. Here's the 0-1 pitch. On the ground, Bryant playing perfectly. He was playing a little in, but makes the play. He picked and fired in time. Reds go down in order in the 9th. Last chance for romance through 8.5. It's 4-1 Cincinnati. J.J. Hoover coming in to try to lock down his 28th save of the year for the Reds. He's had a pretty good season for the most part. Cincinnati, they had a closer by committee to start the year between Jumbo Diaz and Hoover. It's the middle of the order for the Brewers to get something going in the 9th as Chris Carter stands in. He's hitless thus far, and the first pitch is a curveball outside, and it's 1-0. Fans are up. They want to see something big here. And as that pitch is fouled off by Carter, that was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. A little high in the zone. 1-1. Hoover working quickly as Carter sends one in the air deep. That one was deep. Had home run distance, but it's foul. 1-2 on Carter, and the pitch is tapped foul. It's a changeup. Staying alive out there. Looking to get on base to get a rally started for the Crew as he lays off a tough pitch, and it's back to even 2-2. Crowd full of almost 34,000 looking on here. Hoover bounces that curveball in the dirt, and the count is full. Here's the 3-2 to Carter, and he rolls over a curveball. Jones picks it at short, plenty of time, and gets him by a step. That's frustrating. 1 up, 1 down here in the Brewers' 9th. Craig Regland stands in, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. He's been on a tear this season, and especially as of late, had a 3-home-run ball game earlier in the week. As he looks at a fastball low to start his at-bat, and it's 1-0. Bailey outstanding today. 8 strong innings. Kept the Brewers' bats off balance all game long. But to the Brewers' defense, Bailey had been on a fairly good hot streak coming into this start. As Regland sends one in the air, this one's deep to right. Again, it's not going to carry. Just under that one as Bruce makes the catch, and the Brewers are down to their final out. So it's up to Chris Bryant now, who is 0 for 3 to keep this game alive for the Crew.
Spike.
That one's over for a strike, and it's 0-1. Bryant down in the count now, and it's 0-2. They're down at their final strike. Here's the sign from Mesoraco, and the 0-2 pitch is lofted in the air. Bruce is under it. This should end the ball game. Squeezes the glove, and this one's over. So the Reds leave Milwaukee with a win, but the Brewers still take the series 2-1. Final score from Miller Park. It's the Cincinnati Reds 4 and the Milwaukee Brewers 1. For the Reds, they had 4 runs on 8 hits and no errors. But for the Brewers, 1 run on 7 hits and an error. Jay Bruce, the player of the game, he ended up going 2 for 4. Had a big home run in his first at-bat. Also had a double and 2 RBIs. And scored a run. Zach Davies, the losing pitcher, he goes to 15-5, and his ERA is over 4 for the first time in the year. Homer Bailey gets his 9th win rather, and only allows 1 run. Just 1 strikeout, but he had good command. J.J. Hoover gets his 28th save. That's a wrap from Miller Park. Until next time, good night and good luck.